Alright, we're back today continuing the predictions for season 14, of course. This time talking about episode 10, the Snatch game. And with me this week is a fellow YouTube creator. I would say very properly named Top RPDR Videos. We're just gonna call you Top, right?
You're a crazy bitch. Every fucking time you tell me the name is properly named. But thank you. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for wanting to do this with me, first of all. There is something that I want to ask you before we get into the meat of this video. Looking at the edit of episode 9, was Daya high or low?
Wait a moment. Are you asking if the edit was trying to make her look like she was high or low, or my personal opinion through the edit?
What the edit was trying to do.
Oh, they were trying to make her look like she did good, but she didn't.
It was such a weird way to edit the episode.
Didn't.
I don't know what they're doing.
I literally did the review, and my words are, quote, she was as fake as a $3 bill. She didn't do a good job. And she also had the advantage of having other queens who didn't do a good job right next to her. So by comparison, she could have already looked better. And she didn't, which means it was really bad. It was a difficult challenge. I get it. I completely get it. But no, she didn't do a good job. She was in the bottom for me, or very close to it.
It was so weird that they tried to edit it as like no bad critiques, basically.
Yeah,
like, what?
We call them critiques for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Bullshit masquerading as feedback.
Are you even enjoying season 14?
It's not as entertaining as I would like it to be. But you also have to understand one thing. I am also watching Thailand season 1, and that's an incredible season. Possibly one of the best to come out in the past 4 years. By comparison, it already makes the season looks worse. Objectively, it's a huge step forward from season 13. The problem is that it's so long. I mean, they need to fulfill this episode order, and they will deliver the 16 to 17 episodes no matter what.
It's insane that they're going for so many episodes.
It is insane, but my best guess at the moment is 16 episodes, and I have a chart for that because, I am the chart channel, so I have a chart for everything. And it's simply too much. You have so many filler episodes, so many episodes where no queen goes home. But, if Viacom came to World of Wonder and said, listen, I have this order for 16 episodes in season 14. You need to deliver 16 episodes for season 14. So either you have a season with 20,000 queens or you put a ton of filler inside. So you have double save, chocolate bars, double premiere, no elimination episodes, and all of these things because they need to put in more episodes. A lot of people don't know, especially people outside of the US, that when Drag Race actually airs on VH1, there is like 10 to 12 commercial pauses in there. The show goes on for an hour, but if you watch it on cable, it's 1 hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get half an hour of advertisement. And people don't realize how much money that actually is. We're talking about millions in advertisement for every episode. It's no surprise that they try to stretch it as long as possible. It's a ton of fucking money. Everybody wins when they have 16 episodes, except the queens who have to be there for 16 episodes, and us, the audience, who have to go through a season that's really watered down. So for me, season 14 is really watered down. It's not as bad as season 13 because they're actually managing to have a little bit of better challenges. The queens also have a much better chemistry between each other. So it doesn't feel as bad as season 13, but to call it a good season, I'm not sure I would go that far.
Wait, but do you have any... I assume you do, but do you have any favorites out of this cast?
Absolutely. Willow Pill.
Yes, thank you. Yep,
Absolutely.
Yep. It's so refreshing to see somebody so cerebral on Drag Race. That's a hard word, sorry.
Yeah, she has a maturity within her that it's astonishing to actually see a person like that compete on a reality TV show like Drag Race. I'm like, in a way, having a person with that level of maturity at such a young age, it's like a blessing for a show like this.
Let's get into the preview. So what do we know about episode 10 from the said preview? Other than the fact that there's like a mini challenge, who cares? It's finally time for Snatch Game, and let's go down the line with who's playing whom. So Lady Camden is playing William Shakespeare, sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought she was playing Max.
Oh my god. Jasmine is playing Betsy DeVos. Angeria is playing Tammy Brown, because why the fuck not? Jorgeous is playing I think her name is pronounced Ilana Glazer. She's an actress. She was in a TV show. I don't remember the name of it, but she's like a comedic actress. Willow is playing Drew Barrymore. DeJa is playing Lil Jon. No clue who that is. Bosco is playing Gwyneth Paltrow. And Daya is playing Ozzy Osbourne. We are led to believe that DeJa and Daya are doing well, but that Willow is not doing so well. I don't really believe all of that, but we'll talk about it. The judges' critiques are also kind of vague as always, but Michelle does tell someone that they believed the person the queen was impersonating was quote-unquote her, but that it wasn't funny. And I'm emphasizing the her because we have 3 queens doing men. Well, I mean, okay, technically 4 because Tammy Brown, but you know what I mean.
There's also Max, so...
Come on!
I will not get over that.
So the only thing that this comment tells us is that Camden, DeJa, and Daya cannot all be in the bottom 3 because none of them could get that critique. So that's really all that we get from the preview regarding the actual, let's say, competition. But we do also get like 10 seconds of Daya Betty just like being correct and also a villain somehow.
I'm not going to use any of the information that comes from the preview because they like kind of fucking with us a little bit.
So this week, let's start with our high queens first because it's Snatch Game. It's such like an important challenge. Let's see who we think is going to do the best. Who are your 3 high queens?
For me, it's definitely going to be Lady British, Angeria, and Willow Pill because it's Willow. I love Willow, and I don't trust the preview. Now, Lady
British, for fuck's sake.
Well, it's not disrespectful. This is like, it's like nicknames, you know. If I give a nickname to a queen, it means that either I like her or I look up to her. So it's not a bad thing. But yeah, she is Lady British. But Lady British is the best actress among all of them. I mean, she convinced everyone that she's not playing a character when in reality she is the most produced queen out of all of them. She's doing that very, very well. And again, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I mean, you should never trust World of Wonders. So if they go and play up a character, they are protecting themselves and protecting their ability to continue to do work and not get shitty edits in the end. For me, she's not only on the top, she's also the most likely to win this Snatch game. And then Angeria and Willow, because they have a very good comedy sense, especially Willow. It's a very fucked up sense of humor. I get it. I like it. I am completely on board with that because I know where it comes from. And Angeria is just naturally funny. So for me, these are the 3 queens who can capitalize the most on this kind of challenge.
So we agree only on, well, actually, no, we agree on 2 queens. So my top 3 for next week or for episode 10 would be Lady Camden, Willow, and then I put DeJa there. Now, here's my reasoning behind it. Usually on Snatch Game, when somebody does a male character, they do either really well or they like flop completely. So I'm like, we have a couple of people doing men this time. So I'm guessing kind of the same reason why you said about Lady Camden. Like, she's a really good actress. And also I think that with taking a character like William Shakespeare, you can be whatever. Because, like, who the fuck knows how he was as a personality? You know what I mean? She's in that, like, hot spot, like, right next to RuPaul.
They want her in the spotlight. Yeah. That is the spotlight. Yes.
For Snatch Game, at least, yeah. The first and the last one. So that's why I think she's going to be there. Willow, and then DeJa, as I've said, she's doing a man, and I think that it's going to be a little, like, I think she can make it ridiculous and funny, like how Alexis Mateo did when she did Alicia Keys. Like, it was funny, but, like, it wasn't really Alicia Keys, but it was just, like, was a funny character that somehow was also named Alicia Keys.
I don't agree with DeJa, because for me, she was basically edited out of season 14. Like, you have episodes in which she doesn't even have confessionals. Seriously.
That's true.
I count them. There is like episode 4, episode 5, she just has the runway confessionals, like the one that everybody gets. And then they continued to pass on every opportunity to actually recognize her talents. So for me, she's basically occupying a filler position. They keep her around so that at some point they will be easily justified to push up some other queens because she simply doesn't hold by comparison. Mm-hmm. I think that's her function in the season. And I don't mean it disrespectfully, but she's not really playing the game very well. And the producers are not really rewarding her for that. Yeah. So for me, it's It's like she is one of my predictions to actually go home.
Oh, really? Okay, so since you mentioned that, let's go to the bottom three queens. Why not? Fuck the save bitches. Let's talk about the bottom three.
I will tell you what I would do
Mm-hmm.
if I was producing this, and then I will tell you what I think they will do.
Okay, sure.
For me, DeJa is basically ready to go home. They never recognized her talents. She never won anything. When she could have been high, they put her low or safe. When she could have won, they just let her be high. It's just filler.
Mm-hmm.
They're using her as filler, which is heartbreaking if you're DeJa, but objectively, this is what they are doing. So for me, she's basically ready to go home, along with Jorgeous and Jasmine. I don't think they have the ability to play comedy on Snatch Game. I think they are too young for that, especially Jorgeous. If we learned anything from the last episode, is that she's not really comfortable when she has to play up a character, which is the exact approach that both her and Jasmine used for the DragCon panel.
True.
But with that said, Jasmine has an incredible storyline going on with Daya. She's basically holding, both of them, they're basically holding the whole season. So yeah. I would keep absolutely Jasmine. And Jorgeous is the young and talented. We had a young and talented basically every year since season 6. So you basically know what's going to happen already. Yeah. I don't think she's going anywhere. She will probably be in the bottom, but she will not go anywhere. What I think they are doing, and I need to give a possible spoiler alert. You are getting it first. I didn't even use this chart on my channel. I didn't even show it to my viewers. So you are getting it first. Mm-hmm. At some point during All-Star 6, I started thinking if there is a way to objectively quantify the things that the judges are saying, their feedback, their positioning, in a way that will tell me what they actually think and who will likely go home next. So I came out with a method. I kept it to myself because I wanted to see how it would actually go. But it worked very well in All-Star 6, and it's working incredibly well for season 14. It actually worked so well that it accurately predicted the elimination of Orion, Maddie, and Carrie. So I am quite sure, based on that, who is going home next. And it's going to be Jasmine.
We do agree there, by the way.
Jasmine is in the last position. And the difference between her and DeJa Skye is the same difference between DeJa Skye and the first one in the ranking, which is Angeria.
Oh. Jasmine
is completely gone. So this, I trust the chart because the trust is objective. I might be subjective and inject the way I feels when I make predictions, but this is an objective thing and it speaks very clearly. With that said, I think they're sending home Jasmine, but the bottom 3 will still be Jorgeous and possibly DeJa.
I think that the bottom 3 are going to be Bosco, Jorgeous, and Jasmine, only because I don't know how you can make Gwyneth Paltrow, like, really, really funny. I mean, she is funny as, like, a caricature of a person, and, like, you're criticizing her sort of pompous way of existing. But I don't know if that's, like, a really funny Snatch Game. However, Bosco is a funny queen, so if anybody can do it, she probably can. So, you know, and all the things that you said about DeJa, I kind of want to change, but just for the sake of, like, you know, comparing later once the episode airs, I'll keep it this way. I'll say that my bottom 3 are Bosco, Jorgeous, and Jasmine. And so then your safe queens are, if I got it correctly, Bosco and Daya, right?
Yes. Yeah. Those are my safe, which are safe, not because I believe that they were safe. It's more like, okay, these are the queens that are left. Yeah. Once I identified who do I think the tops and the bottoms are, these are the queens who are left being safe.
So Angeria and Daya are my safe 2 queens. Daya just because, like, I don't know.
It's Daya. It's because it's Daya bad.
Honestly, I find it funny to, like, just keep her safe every week. Like, it tickles me in a way. But Angeria also kind of, this is more of a me thing, because I don't get why people find Tammy Brown funny. Again, just a me thing. I know many people like her and all of that, but I don't know if that can be like a big Snatch Game character. Obviously, we'll see, and it's Angeria. She'll probably prove me wrong.
Tammy Brown is pretty crazy on her own, so it's a difficult. If you can do it good, it will be really good. If you do it bad, I don't know about that, because it's Tammy Brown. I mean, we know who Tammy Brown is. It's not an easy choice. So in a way, I also wonder if that was her first choice, or if she was kind of gently pushed to choose that character, because it's one of the most interesting choices of characters for Snatch Game for me. So I would like to know a little bit more about the dynamics that went on around it. But no, for me, she's Angeria. God forbid. Safe? What are you saying? She should win every challenge next to Willow.
I'll show you later, like, on paper how I actually wrote the highs, saves, and lows before this. It's literally like almost every name is scribbled out and something is written out, because I was like, I have no idea what to think of this episode. And so originally I thought that, well, I bought what the preview was selling me, and I was like, okay, maybe Willow will be in the bottom two, and then she will be saved by the gold ticket thing. But then I was like, I don't want that to happen, so I'm not gonna think that way. Listen, nobody has the gold ticket, they're gonna give it to somebody, whatever. Who do you think will be given the gold ticket?
Willow Pill.
Okay.
For me, it's like 90% Willow, because I think we can all agree that this is pure shock value. So they're going to give it to a frontrunner queen, possibly a queen that doesn't really excel at lip syncing. And we never saw Willow lip sync, and she definitely is a frontrunner. So for me, she is the most likely to actually...
I love that we're just kind of recapping your video about the gold ticket, but I agree. I also, like, when they announced it, I was like, okay, so they'll probably keep it for somebody who's a good competitor, but maybe not a good lip syncer. So I'm thinking either Willow or Bosco.
So for me, these were my two picks as well. But since I think this was made as a shock value, as like an emotional moment, a moment in which the audience would be on the edge of their seats, they would rather take a queen with whom we formed a very emotional connection. And that is for me why Willow is the most likely between the two to actually have that ticket. That's what I would do. If I was producing this shit, I would give it to Willow.
Speaking of giving stuff to Willow, do you think that she should be given the crown? This is like the final thing we'll talk about.
Sorry, I thought you were going on a totally different direction. Okay. No.
Well, they don't call you top RPDR videos? Okay.
Oh, shut up.
Oh,
Stop.
so bad.
For me, Willow has every chance to actually win this. She would be a fantastic winner. Are they going to do it? I don't think they would go that far, because every business, when it becomes that big, like World of Wonder, before they make big choices, they want to kind of give it a test run first. Like what they did with Gottmik in season 13 and actually having Kylie winning as the first trans contestant on the show when she won All-Star 6. So they kind of like to test run things a little bit. So I am not sure, based solely on that they would actually crown her. For me, she could be a very good winner. If Willow doesn't get it, you have Angeria right there. I mean, it's not a difficult choice.
Yep. I've been saying it like since episode 3 or whatever. I'm like, crown Angeria, but also at this point, I'm like, you can crown Willow and Bosco too. I'm fine with either of the three.
I absolutely agree with it. She has such an incredible talent. She is also a more mature queen. You can definitely see it. And she still manages to be funny, to have a nice attitude, and to always smile. I mean, she's a joy to watch. And I think the best part of all of it is that she's not really playing a character. That's what you see, it's what you get.
Let's just hope that they don't screw her over like pretty much any other queen that's been amazing just like her.